Never program your computer for what you want at 3 o'clock in the morning. I set it up, this morning at 3 o'clock, and I'm in here trying to where's it at? I go into my video manager. Where's it at? Where's it at? I look. Well, I know I did it. I started to do it again. I said, "Oh, I know what I did." So it's on the Trees Are Blowing channel, not TreeChatter channel.
There you go. I was wondering about that. I looked at it earlier and it seen on the Trees Are Blowing. I thought, wow, I thought he was changing that, but no.
I was, but it just it's on here tonight. I may just keep it on here. We get more response and more. Ain't that many people switched over to the TreeChatter, so evidently they ain't interested in it. So I may just leave it on here and let it go. But I wasn't about to go through all that bull crap of redoing it. So I said, we'll have it down here tonight. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with 2 channels is a pain in the neck anyway.
Yeah, it really is. It's hard for, I can't really do it. I've got like 2 or 3 different channels, and it's like, I guarantee you the other 2 channels that I've got, there's all kinds of, not a lot, but I'm sure there's a lot of comments and stuff, and I just don't ever get over to them. And,
well, that's it. You got to log out of this one and then log in. Hey, Colonel John, lived for a while. I hope you're doing better, buddy. You just got home from the hospital. That's good news. I've got it coming too.
Said he was walking yesterday. I don't know whether he was kidding around or not, but it probably was.
Oh, they get you up in a hurry. Yeah, they don't want you laying there in bed. They don't want it to stiffen up on you. They want you to keep it moving. I know I supposed to had my knees done 2 years ago, and I decided to have my foot done first. I wish I'd have had the knee done first.
Yeah. Buzz out there said he went over to the TreeChatter channel and didn't find it.
Yeah, Fuzz. I was just telling the guys, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you never want to do any programming on your computer. When I was getting ready to fire this thing up, I couldn't find it. I went over to the channel. Where in the world? And then I come back over here. It dawned on me, oh crap! So I just left it here. Yeah, I wasn't about to go through all that bull crap of redoing it again.
Yep. Lived for a while. Said he's been walking this morning. He was correct.
Sweet.
They don't waste no time. My wife, when she had her hip done, what was it, a year and a half ago, they had her up that evening on a walker. They had her walking.
They have come a long ways in some things in medicine, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went and got a cortisone shot in my knee here a couple weeks ago. I had to get one because walking unbalanced with his foot and everything, with that bad limp and stuff, man, it's just got my knee just throbbing. He x-rayed and he said, yeah, it's bone on bone. I said, we got to get this foot healed up before we can do the knee. But anyway. Hey, we got a couple of people out there. We'll just go ahead and start doing what we want to do. I ain't got much really planned or anything, but I gave up on dicks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Good for you.
I had to change the name of it. I originally had it. It's like in the opening of it is. How did no more dicks for me hashtag. I thought, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna go this way. I said, we're gonna change it. Just giving up dicks. This first video I've had 100 views on the lot.
Is that right?
Just goes to show you the caption means a lot, I guess.
Title means a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that the title don't have more influence than the tags. I ain't really been able to figure that out. I don't know.
You know, I don't know if you're supposed to see your, like if you got tags, say Range Officer 1911, which is one of the tags. I never see it in the side, you know, when I'm watching the videos. I never see any of my videos over there unless it's on my channel. I never see nothing over on the side.
I've seen some stuff that was related to tags I did, but I don't know. Maybe it was just that tag, or it fell under a general category that I don't know. I mean, I put them in on all of them, but
I put them in there. It's just,
I tell you what I did. What I quit doing is putting anything to do with guns in the tag thing, even for chats. Because I used to put AK-47, Glock, gun, shooting, and all that. And they, not that it matters, but they hit it with that, you know, limited monetization. I mean, automatically. Now, if it's in the title, they'll get you anyway, too. But
I still put shooting and guns in there. So far, I don't put the ARs in there. But, you know, the Glock, all that stuff, I put it in the tags.
Like I said, the pennies that I get off of YouTube, it really don't matter. It just, I guess it's kind of a principle thing. Well, I guess it'd be principle to leave it on there anyway. But I've just noticed that if it's a thumbnail and I'm holding a gun, if I got the tags in there, something about guns, because a lot of times, like a chat, we may not even talk about guns, but then again, we may talk about guns the entire time, you know?
Right. You're right, weapons machinist. When I put it in there, I thought, oh boy, I'm liable to get a bunch of weirdos coming over here, but I didn't.
Yeah, I've noticed that, like the titles, like the tags, I do like everything's like a 1911. I do like a generate tags off of 1911, and then that's all I've been doing lately, and I haven't noticed much difference there. But I have noticed some of the things, like if you put giveaway in the title, it's like automatic demonetized. There's a few things that you can put in the title that'll instantly do it. That's where my titles have all been really generic or so lately. It's just like none of them are like pinpointing a gun or anything. It's just,
and I don't know for sure because they don't really, well, I guess you can look. I need to do that. I need to look at videos that they did restrict to see if it showed I made income off of them. Not, you know, because it's usually they're like, you made 2 cents off that one, you made a nickel off it. But because it doesn't say it's totally demonetized, I've only got one video that was totally demonetized, and that's because I flagged it as adult content.
Yeah.
And it automatically went demonetized. And because they've age restricted a video of mine. I'm not age restricted, but limited monetization. And then when I click on the video, it's full page ads and all, and it's like,
yeah, I don't have to worry about that no more. They didn't kick me off of anything like that. So maybe that's why I ain't got nothing from them in a long time for violation or any of that bullcrap, flagging it.
I'm surprised I hadn't got any flagged. It's probably just a matter of time because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff back out of like 800 and some videos. There's a lot of stuff back in the back that I had forgotten about or didn't go back and look at that I guarantee is not in their policy stuff, their new policy. It wouldn't fit. But
the only ones that I know of, let me rephrase this or phrase it right. The only people that I heard of when it was all hitting the news, or at least in our circle of news, what we're YouTubers and stuff, it seemed like the big channels is the only ones that was getting strikes. I didn't really hear them striking small channels that I know of. No,
they just give you a demonetize or whatever, but I've never heard of a small channel really getting nailed, you know, like never enough ammo. You know, he's on that 6 months probation or whatever it is. He can't even post a video on his. Speaking of him, I was watching his chat last night. I had to work last night, so I thought 8 o'clock, you know, because that usually starts dying down there at the station about 8 o'clock. I'm gonna get to watch Big Johnson because I always forget it at 8 o'clock. So I kept checking my feed, nothing. I thought, well, maybe they all had to work or whatever, something come up. They just wasn't having a chat tonight. Well, I kept checking it. And finally 9 o'clock come and they still didn't come on. So, Matt, it's Mr. Matt now is what his vlog channel is, where he's having his chats and stuff. So I went over and I, watched him for an hour. Man, they had a deep subject going last night. I'm thinking, they was way over my head what they was talking about, flat Earth and all that crap. And I don't know nothing about that, Yeah. But he got into what football or your basketball brackets look like, where you pick your teams over here and here and here, and then they like quarterfinals, then they go in and you get the finals, and then the final two, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. He had it on guns. And I don't really know how to screen share. I'd like to show this to you guys, but if I do this, I'm afraid of screwing something up. I've got his channel up that had it on it last night, but like he gave two buys, and one of them was 1911, and one of them was the high power. Well, the first bracket had Glock 19 and Glock 17 pitted against one another, and then over here, I think it was CZ and what's compatible to CZ that's it's a popular name. Oh, well, anyway. But he had them broke down and then all this panel, he had 8 or 9 guys, and they would all give their pick for that bracket, blah, blah, blah. Well, Glock 17 won. That's the only one I can remember. It won the first bracket. Of course, now it had to go up against 1911, which everybody, or the majority of them, voted for the 1911. And it just kept on going down. They had the Beretta 92 against, like I said, I can't remember. I can't remember them all. Anyway, the Beretta 92, it was the gun that the best gun that you would like to take into combat with you if you had to go. And the Beretta 92 won out.
Huh.
It was really interesting. I went on to the Gun Channel's website. I was hoping to be able to download it where we could maybe, if we had enough guys on here, play it or something. But
yeah. I know when you talk about the flat Earth stuff, some kind of echo going on there. But when you talk about the flat Earth, it makes me think of like a meme I saw on Facebook a few weeks back where somebody's got a picture of what the flat Earth would look like, and there's a cat on top of it knocking stuff off, and it's like if the Earth was flat, cats would have already knocked everything off of it by now. I just thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was funny. I think I've shared that before too. It's like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But there's one guy, and I get, well, his icon or his logo or what icon or whatever was called Flat Earth. And then it showed a bunch of whatever drawings on it. He's big into the flat Earth. He really believes in it, I guess. And somebody asked, well, what about the pictures they take from space? That shows it a globe, a globe. He said, what the Earth has is a big globe around it. It's not really the Earth itself. It's just got a big shield over it. So when they go into outer space, they're not really going to outer space because of that shield. Like I said, it was too deep for my old 9th grade education.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. The aliens would make a big plexiglass dome to go over it to keep everything.
That's what it is. We're just a big snow globe for the aliens. They're looking at us. Hey, look at that. And they
shake us up once in a while where we get our earthquakes and stuff.
Get our storms and whatnot.
Yeah, it was. I sat there and listened to it until they got into the other thing, and I'm thinking, man, they way over my head. And all of them on the panel seemed like they knew what they was talking about. Some of them was for it, some of them was against it. I ain't done no investigating on it.
I've looked into it. It's just the most ridiculous thing it's just ridiculous. But I did look into it because I was like, when I first started hearing about it a few years ago, I was like, this has got to be a joke. This is just a running joke. And I went to one of their main pages and I started reading forums, and there were a few of them that were like, like the moderators or whatever. And I seen where they wasn't talking to me. I was just looking at past conversations. And yeah, it was a joke, and it literally said it in a roundabout way, like just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes me think, like, when you talk about the flat Earth, like one of the big things that I think of is like they talk about, like, so looking at the stars and their placement. So if you move and you're on an orb and you move, your angles are going to be accordingly moving for your stars and whatnot. And so like I'm always wondering, well, how do they paint those stars on that big dome thing to move with you as you move and whatnot? So it's a lot of good stuff with that.
It's if you want to look into something that I found it entertaining, because it was just like, holy cow, really? The reasoning and this, it's just of all the things to latch on to. And trust me, like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I've looked into many, many, many things, and many conspiracies I've looked into, it's just like y'all are reaching way too hard. I'll believe about anything, or at least acknowledge that something's going on here or whatever. But that's just totally off the reservation there.
Yeah, let's grab one that was debunked 700, 800, 900 years ago or whatever, and revamp that one.
I can't believe I stood there listening to it. You know, I'd wait on a customer every once in a while. I was just waiting for him to get into this bracket game and whatever. He said, "Well, let's get." And then he said, "Let's get into the bracket game. We'll come back on this later." Well, once he got done with the bracket game, I'm out of there. I wasn't going to listen to another hour of that because
Paul's got a good point out there. If the Earth wasn't flat, everybody on the opposite end would fall off. So there's that.
Bald and Curious Grand Power was not on the list. I do remember that.
Oh, wow. That's got to hurt, Paul.
That's got to hurt, I know, but they was not on there. Oh, I know what the CZ. No, it wasn't a CZ. Yeah, CZ75 or the P09. Okay. Of course, the CZ75 won out, but you know, as far as ammo capacity, the 09's got more capacity, you know.
Yeah.
And if it's anything like that 07, I ain't so sure I would have took it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 09's a really good gun. I want to get one day.
Oh, when I bought the 07, I was actually going to buy the 09, but they didn't have it in 9mm. All they had was 40, so I didn't.
But I'd like to have a 75 BD too. So I don't know. I pretty much want them all.
I'd like to have the, what is it, 75D and 45 auto? 45?
Yeah, that
I forget what numbers are classified. Yeah, but they make one in 45, yeah.
They make it because Big Johnson's got one, I think. Big Johnson's got it. 1776, glad to see you.
Yeah, I do. Paul, you're right. I do need a Colt M45A1 for sure. That'd be nice.
You say 97B. 97 is CZ.
Yeah.
97, I guess.
The 45?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that would be nice too. I've saw some guy that had it, something Beard guy or something had one, did a review on it. It looked like a pretty decent gun.
Yeah, I think it was Big Johnson's got one.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a friend of mine, he's got the Colt Gold Cup.
Yeah,
man, that's a nice 45. Ooh.
Yeah.
I watched an interesting video today by Batjack, how to take your 1911 and oh crap! Now I just had a brain fart. To make your 80 series 1911 into a 70 series, where you remove the safety stop and whatnot, and that looked like that was really interesting. I'm thinking about probably doing that with the.
I've read, at least in the past, that they say that it affects the trigger and makes the trigger not as good. not as smooth, or maybe it gives it a little bit harder trigger pull, because I guess it's got to hit that spring as well. On
right. Yeah, the way that's how he was talking. I've heard that it smooths it out, makes it a little lighter. And,
I know mine's it feels pretty good, but at the same time, it supposedly had a trigger job done to it. Now, what that entailed, I don't know if they just changed the spring, if something was polished, but I got a Colt 1911. But it's a carry gun, and well, I mean, that was kind of what it was designated. It's compact aluminum frame, it's officer's frame, commander length slide with aluminum frame, and it came with hoe group grips from the fact. It's a sweet little shooter, but it shoots good. It just got a good trigger, but there again, the guy told me it had a trigger job too, so I don't know what it felt before.
right.
Alaska Ballistics, I just sent you a link if you want to join in.
Yeah, I'm thinking about ordering one of those little shims and doing it on I'll probably do it on that ATI first and see what it's like, and then maybe do it on the Remington if I like it after that.
Man, I ain't got enough guts to take. I've been wanting to take my 1911 apart and do a thorough cleaning on it. I just ain't got the nerve to take this thing apart with all them parts in there.
They're not as bad as you'd think. I tell you, the biggest trick to a 1911 is leaf spring. Back there, it's got 3 paws on it. Well, I say paws, 3 little arms on it. And when you put it together right, there's one little piece. It's been so long since I had mine apart, I can't remember now. That when you put it on there the right way, it looks wrong because it's just barely hanging on it or pushing on it or something. It's like there's no way that's right, but you can get it backwards or to the side or something, and I forget what happens. It won't shoot, for one thing. I know that, but
I'm afraid if I took the blame thing apart, it definitely probably wouldn't shoot.
I'm sure there's a ton of videos on it, and so
yeah.
That's me. It's like I'm kind of fearless when it comes to any of that, because like I know I can pull up a video and I could stop it and go through every little detail to get to it, so it doesn't bother me too bad.
Well, that's what I did with that decocker on that 07. Such had he had a safety on it. He took safety out, put the decocker out, and then took the decocker out, put the safety back in, and I'm stopping it in between. And yeah,
76 says it's just easier to get a Glock, and that's probably
yeah.
I don't know how close you live to the Colonel. Lived for a while out there, but yeah, he knows all about 1911 for it. He's got special jigs and tools and all that stuff.
Yeah, I see that. I'm about 100 miles from him, 100 and a quarter, somewhere in there. He's on the other side of the state over there, north and west. I don't need the trigger job. I love the trigger the way it is, but it's just, I just wanted to get in there and do a deep cleaning, because I mean, this thing got probably, God, it's got to have close to 4,000 or 5,000 rounds through it.
Wow.
Yeah, field strip it, take the grips off. Just take the grips off, field strip it as far as you're comfortable with, or just field strip it, and then just hose her down with rim oil or WD-40.
Yeah, it ain't giving me a problem, so I ain't really that worried about it. I'll get nerve one of these days and do it, I guess. That little spring that goes in there on that, putting that decocker in, man, that's the one that give me fits. I had to have a pair of tweezers to get it down in the hole, and then you had that leg that you had to get underneath the other one, and I tried everything, and finally I just got a little jeweler's screwdriver and popped it under there, and then it was easy from then on. But
I know for me, about the worst thing I've ever done with one was I used to have this Springfield XDS, and after they had the factory recall and had to send it in, and they did whatever it was they did with their grip safety and the trigger, and the trigger was never the same when it came back. I didn't like it. It was too heavy for me and just felt weird. And so I put this Powder River spring kit in it, and there was one of the springs on the grip safety making it work out to get it back in and putting the pin in. It took me like 3 hours to get it. I was like fit to be tied by the time I finally got that thing back together. It was just a nightmare.
There you go, John. Lived for a while, says he got time now. He might do a video of a complete strip and reassemble.
Nice.
I guarantee you one view.
Yeah. I'll watch it.
Like I say, I think I commented it if because I'd heard about they came with a decocker option. You could change it out. It's like, I guarantee you it wasn't as complicated as the one in a real, not real, but a actual C75 CZ75 BD. That little block right there. Holy crap! That's, you know, the one I set to the side for a month before I came back to it. I was like, heck with that. I finally got it, but I had to make custom pins for it and stuff. Slave pins. Had to make custom pins to like assemble the little block on the bench, and you had to put pins in it to hold everything in place so you could put it in there and then drive that slave pin out with the actual pin. You know,
that's crazy.
But now they say like a regular 75, just the CZ75, that same block, like if you was going to take it out right this back here, it's already got a slave pin in it to hold all that together. It just comes out and you just stick it right back in. It ain't no big deal.
Huh.
I know Suits did a heck of a job on it. I stopped and paused it, stopped and paused, and followed him along. And like I said, other than that little spring getting it down in there, it just fell right in.
I know some of that stuff on those CZs. There's not a lot of videos on it. I was looking at something there. Well, I replaced like the mainspring in my PO1 to it was a little lighter spring that made the double action trigger just a little lighter. And as far as just that process, there wasn't a video on it. There was a guy that kind of touched on it, and then he like skipped parts when he put it back together, and I just had to figure it out. But then I couldn't find the videos like on the full deal, which is odd. Most every gun you can find something on all of them.
Well, the CZs are really coming on strong with their popularity. I mean, just a couple of years ago, most people didn't even know what a CZ was, you know.
Right.
And now it's like CZ75, you know, fanfare, you know, but and for good reason. It's a hell of a gun, I think. But hell, even my buddy Tool Monkey's got one now. but when I was tearing that thing apart, I didn't really find too many good videos. I found a few videos on far as that little decocker mechanism.
Yeah.
But their camera, it was old videos and it was shadows and dark and you couldn't really tell what it was doing.
That's the problem with some of the videos, the how-to videos. They don't have, like Suits had the light in the frame of it. And I mean, it was just perfect. But some of them, you know, they're telling you how to do this and showing you, and there's so much shadow and stuff, you just, you know, really a waste of time.
Yeah, it helps to see for sure.
And for clarification out there for JH 586 Smith & Wesson, to normally field strip a CZ75 BD, you would never take that block out. What I'm talking about. That's just if you totally disassembled the gun to bead blast it and refinish it. That's the only reason I took it down that far. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that part I'm talking about. Just normal shooting, cleaning, field stripping, and all that. Just to make myself clear.
Or talking about the cleaning, you could send it to TR and let him take it to work and just strip it down a little bit and throw it in that big industrial cleaner he's got.
Ultrasonic cleaner, yeah.
Ultrasonic cleaner, yeah. Do a batch of brass in that thing, though.
Oh yeah. He should have brought more. He's kind of just brought some to test, and then we got to talk about a video, and then he shot a video of them after they were clean, and he was showing me. And and he used the crane. And I was like, no, we need to redo that. So we threw the brass back in there, and I got back with his camera. So you showed a crane, you know, picking up 200 rounds of ammo. We got another idea for another one. I kind of meant to do it, but I was busy today. But because I seen like Rick, the Edge 6 covered, you know, he did made his own little dryer for his wet tumbled.
Yeah.
You know, we got a dryer that's like 15, 20 foot tall, holes. I don't have many thousands of pounds of material. I want to go over. Okay, we got our dryer. For, you know.
Nice.
Hey, Gun Wild One, how you doing, bud? You want a link? Let me know, and I'll get you on here.
Buzzfork's got a good point. He's saying that you would think a real redneck would use the neighbor's hot tub to clean their brass.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, Buzz.
You know, it's funny. Back, it's been several years ago. I was on a golf league, and being in the Masonic Order, we had a memorial to do that evening after like 7 o'clock, I think. So I had my suit and everything in the car. Well, I got dressed there at the golf course. I forgot my dress shoes. Well, unfortunately, my golf shoes was black. I said, man, if Jeff Foxworthy was here, only a redneck would wear golf shoes to a funeral, you know.
Oh, no.
I did. I had to wear my golf shoes in there with my suit on.
Nice.
Not that it would be odd for any of us, but there used to be a little hot dog joint across the way here, and I used to go in there a lot, and they had like one of those little peel away. It was a calendar, but it had the Foxworthy redneck. You're a redneck. You might be a redneck every day. And I was sitting there at the cash register looking at it, and it says you might be a redneck if you have bullet casings along, with your change in your pocket. And I was, yeah, I got a pocket full of 9mm right now. Yeah. I was picking up in the yard.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of pulling bullets out of the freaking washer and dryer. It's getting ridiculous at this point.
Well, I'm you know how it is when you shoot outside, you lose brass and you find it later, like where I can just shoot my yard. Well, I'm sure you're the same way, Rich.
Yeah.
You're just constantly finding brass, you know, just a piece here, a piece there. I know the last video I shot, I looked down and there was a 45 laying there, and I bend down and pick up the shell, put it in my pocket while I'm talking to the camera.
Yeah, it's funny how that stuff can disappear. And then you could be walking out, you know, another day and look around and there's like 10 rounds sitting there, you know, or 10 cases. It's like, how in the hell did I miss that? You know,
I'd been on the indoor range out the gun club and lose brass. Now, how do you lose it on the indoor range?
Wow. Yeah.
Because I always pick up my brass and, you know, I usually throw it in the slots that it belongs in. I'm like 2 pieces short. I walk all over this place and it ain't nowhere to be seen. Heck with it. Leave it for seed, I guess. I don't know where it hides at. Not on an indoor range. Outside, I understand it with grass, dirt, and all that stuff. But never on an inside.
Similar to socks. Like your socks, you always have that one sock that disappears.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the old washer around, I think, that eats socks up. My wife says, where's my other sock at? Well, I don't know. I go down and look and washer and dryer. It ain't there.
Little sock gnome got it or something.
Yeah.
I cleaned out my gutters and found brass. My back porch, the gutter's not very tall. I can just touch it, you know. They're cleaning leaves out, and so there's some 45s.
That's a nice thing about 45s. They are easier to pick up and see.
I tell you what's weird on the outside, kind of like what Rich is talking about, but say I know in this little area there should be this many rounds of brass, you know, and you're looking, and I start moving leaves around and stuff, and then there'll be a pile. It's like, how did every one of them get under the leaves?
Right.
I just shot them. Every one of them like snuck under the leaves, and I got like there's 3 under this leaf, there's 5 under here.
That's crazy.
Well, that's the nice thing about a Glock. A Glock pretty much throws brass right together, you know. 1911, man, that thing flings them everywhere. Same way with the CZ. It's just, I'll find them ahead of me, back of me, side of me, everywhere.
Yeah, some guns are better about making a nice pile.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't understand losing them on the indoor range. They hit the wall and bounce. And
Yeah.
I don't know where to go. I've walked all over the blame thing and still come up a couple short.
Wow. Yeah, the elusive brass cases.
I bought some brass. Well, my buddy Tool Monkey picked me up some. He's got a little gun store. Well, whatever you want to call it. They sell all kinds of stuff, but it's a gun store. And they got indoor range. And I guess they got indoor range, or they get it from indoor range. But anyway, he selling brass $20 for 10 pounds.
Huh.
It's like he counted. He got some 45 the other day. It was 1,200 rounds for $20. Once fired brass.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, most of it's once fired. We found a few that wasn't. Somebody had their own, but for the most part, it was. Once fired. And so I got them. I said, well, next time you swing by there, give me 10 pounds of 9, 10 pounds of 45 at $20 a piece. I'll take it any day. I'm just not going to hurt,
Yeah, you can't have enough brass.
Mm-mm.
It's like I've got 600 rounds loaded up for IDPA of old brass that this was going to be the last firing for them. I'm just going to leave them lay, because normally I had to pick them up and stuff. I thought, well, this year, they're just going to be left.
How many times do you think you go through them, Don?
I bet I've got 20 reloads in that brass, Rich.
Okay.
At least, yeah. I know I've reloaded 45s to the point to where the primer won't stay in no more. I got to load it, and all of a sudden I got gunpowder, and the primer done fell right out of it.
Nice.
If I catch them with a vertical crack in them, I'll pitch them. But I've missed them. Well, it's like that one video I did. I wouldn't be afraid to shoot that as long as it's a vertical. Now, if it was horizontal, I wouldn't do it because I'd be afraid of case separation. But
yeah, with straight wall case, normal pistol cartridges, I don't think you have to worry about the separating as much as maybe a 357 44 mag or something like that. But I hadn't seen the stuff that happens on a high-powered rifle case that you see straight wall.
Right.
I have never even measured a straight wall case length, much less trim.
I don't measure the length of them. No.
I'm sitting pretty good then. I've probably at the most, some of the brass I've only got maybe 2 times that I've gone through it.
That's still virgin brass.
No, that's still good stuff. That ain't even broke in yet.
Yeah.
You start getting cracks or loose primers, pitch it.
Yeah, I have no idea how many times I've loaded some of my brass. As long as I could find it, it got loaded again, and I've been loading for years.
Well, it's like this. If it wasn't for like IDPA, I would still use it some more until it starts cracking. But I just don't want to have to fart with it out there because you're shooting over 100 rounds, and in between stages, you ain't got time to pick it all up anyway. So I just loaded up 600 rounds to get me through the season, and it's there, and let her go.
Yeah, Papa's Bless out there says he's got some 38 and 357 from the 80s and still loading it.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. It depends on how hot you load it.
Yeah.
If you load it maximum magnum loads, like 44 mags, just full house, it'll go through your brass quicker. But when I shot a 44, I loaded it 20, 25 times because I didn't shoot a real hot load on it.
Yeah, very seldom, unless I just want a hot load. Even 45 or 9, I just kind of load it middle of the road.
I'll never forget. It was 1979. I was out at Williams Gun Sight, and I had a Ruger Blackhawk, and I'd been reloading 3 years, and I was shooting full powered 44s, 24 grains H110, and 296 and all that with a 240 grain bullet. And I always wanted to shoot IHMSA. And a guy come up to me and we got talking. He said, yeah, I got a matchup in Montrose this week at IHMSA. I said, oh, really? I said, I've always been interested in that. So I went up and just watched the first one. If any of you don't know what IHMSA is, targets, steel targets at 25, 50, 100, 150, and 200 meters. The 200 meters is life-size ram, and that's at around 219 yards. Well, the first thing I went, I was using Ruger, you know. It was just smoke and load. And a lot of the guys come up to us, Don, whatever you're doing, you know, you don't have to load them that hot. So I dropped down to, the guy gave me a load, 10 grains of unique with a 240 grain cast bullet, lob them in there, take the rams down, because the rams weigh around 45 to 50 pounds, and you have to knock them over. So from then on, I was just light loads, medium loads. I never went back to, unless it's a hunting load or something like that, I'd crank them up.
Yeah, I'd generally stick with fairly like midway as far as like the loads. I'm not wanting to get real hot I just don't see any point in it.
Yeah, just over the years of loading, I just found it just, if I find loading data, usually I know that might not be the right thing to do. You know, they want you to start out low and go high. I usually just pick right in the middle, I'd load like 5 rounds. I go outside and shoot it and say, okay, that did pretty good. Maybe try to put it on paper. And if it meets my criteria of is pretty loose for target ammo, good. All right, load her away.
Yeah, I've always found better accuracy in the middle range loads too.
I know some gun, and it depends on the powder and stuff, but the hotter I try to push it, the bigger my group gets.
Huh.
Not necessarily every powder, every caliber. I mean, some of them like to be pushed hard, whatever, but I know sometimes I've loaded, say, a middle of the road powder for a round, and you try to kind of push it. Another powder may do great at that velocity, but that powder starts losing its accuracy. You know,
yeah.
The burn rate ain't quite right, and blah, blah, blah. You got to match all that up.
Yeah, I use 3.8 grains of tight group in all the 9mm. It works fine.
That's what I'm loading up some 130 grain, 135 grain 9mm. I'm doing 3.7 a tight group in it, but I'm gonna go check it out, like run it through the chrono and stuff and see what that looks like. I've never loaded the 135 grain before.
Well, I only load 3.3 of tight group with 147 grain.
Yeah.
I can bump it up. That's probably somewhere in the middle of but it seems to work all right. So I like that tight group because it's low pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it too. And usually it's not real smoky for me. It's good.
It burns pretty clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got crazy
people notice you reloads of this smokes, that's for sure. I don't know how many videos I got with people complaining about my smoky loads, but most of them, and I still got a lot that I've already lubed, is just that Lee Alox, and it's going to smoke. You know, I mean, now I'm powder coating now, but I still got a big supply of just, you know, tumble lube Lee Alox, and it'll smoke. It's just going to.
First IDPA match I went to, I was just using a plain cast bullet. And it was smoking like crazy. And one guy said, man, what are you used in that thing? Black powder?
Yep.
But powder coating is definitely the way to go over just plain cast bullet, cast bullet.
Yes.
Definitely makes cleanup easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's worth the extra step or two. No doubt.
Yeah, I've had good luck with the powder coat stuff. It seems to be doing good.
Well, I don't know, Bone Curious. Bone Curious says tight group doesn't clean. I think mine, they clean pretty good in my guns. I don't have a problem with them whatsoever. I never tried CFE pistol.
Yeah, I've tried the CFE, and he's right. It is a little cleaner. One reason is like I've been loading the 357 SIGs, and they don't even have data. You're not even supposed to use like the tight group with the 357 SIG. You got to use like for some reason the burn rate or whatever on the CFE is like fit for the SIG stuff. So I don't understand all that, but I've got to, I did find that out much when I couldn't find data for the tight group. I had to find something that I could get data on.
I'd pick up a pound of that CFE and try it one of these days. I've seen it, but I've just never tried it.
Yeah,
I've always just been
a little more of it, but it's good powder.
I've been with tight group and Winchester 231. 231 is what I use in the 45, 5 grains.
Yeah, I'm a Winchester 231 or HP 38. What is it?
HP 38, same thing. Same load data and everything.
I don't know. It's just like my go-to powder. I got a bunch of other. I forget what it is now. I got 5 pounds of. It's not tight. I don't know. Whatever. I got 5 pounds of something else right now. Just because when the scare kind of happened and it all dried up, the guy I was working with, he was trying to buy it, and he come across where they got this, and it's something I've never used before. If I said the name, y'all would probably know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't matter. It was a medium burn powder, about like 231 or something like that. But I hadn't used it yet. But he's like, well, we'll get 10 pounds of it. The hazard fee and all that'll work out and blah blah. So I got 5 pounds. He got 5 pounds. But.
Right. Well, back when they had the crunch on everything, it was. I was at a gun show and I was looking for just anything. And I ended up buying, I found a pound of 700X.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a good powder for the 45. It's dirty. It don't meter real well either, I don't think. But back then, it was just grab what you can grab,
Yeah, I've used 700 and I've used 800X, PB. They used to make. I don't even know if they make it anymore. All this powder was. I don't know how old this powder was. It was old. It was still in the metal containers,
Yeah. Wow. I've got some of them 748 and Winchester 630. I think I still got almost a full pound of that, and they quit making that.
And Scotsman wants to know what's recommend for Magnum. I like 2400.
H110.
The H110 is good. Red Dot's Magnum powder, ain't it?
Yeah, but Red Dot, to me, Red Dot's dirty. 4227 is a good powder too.
Yeah, I've used Blue Dot and I thought it was dirty.
Blue Dot is a good powder, but like I used to use it. If you leave it in the sun or in a hot car, like when I was at IHMSA match one time, it builds up pressure in sunlight, in the heat, sunlight. Man, I had to hammer them cases out.
Wow.
Damn.
And I quit using Blue Dot. I spread that powder out on the driveway and put a match to it. Watch go. That was the end of my Blue. That was the end of my Blue Dot.
Yeah, well, that would suck. I mean, it's something if you're out in the heat and you got to worry about your getting big changes coming out of you.
I'm blaming it on Blue Dot because it's never happened with anything else. So as far as I'm concerned, it was Blue Dot. And there's, like Ball says, they're shotgun powders, but
yeah, they are.
You can use them.
Well, about any pistol powder is a shotgun powder, really, technically.
Yeah, but you get into the dots, Blue Dot, Red Dot, Green Dot, Unique. Those are really, those was made for shotgun. But
yeah, but it all click bang. As long as it does that,
there you go.
It'll shoot.
Yep.
I know. I was telling my buddy I go casting with and stuff. we broke everything down simple. As long as I can hit a 5-gallon bucket at whatever range I'm shooting at. If I'm shooting rifle or a pistol at 100 yards, as long as I can hit a 5-gallon bucket, all right, I'm good. If I can shoot a 5-gallon bucket at 10 yards or whatever, rapid fire, so I'm good, you know. And then when it came to the gun, it was like I come up with like 3 F's. It's got to fit in my gun, it's got to fire, and then it's got to function. So it's got to eject it and load the next one in. If it does those 3 things and I can hit a 5-gallon bucket, it was a success.
Sounds right to me.
Balding Curious says Unique is an awesome all-around, and he's right. You can use Unique in anything. We shot with a guy. He had a Thompson Center 14-inch contender in 30-06 for silhouette, and he used Unique in it.
In my finding, and it could be just that Lee Alox, or however you're supposed to say it, lube. Unique was one of the worst smoking powders that I've loaded, or at least my combination it was. Not that it was so smoky you couldn't shoot it, but just compared to different powders, it was a little smokier. Not necessarily dirtier, but it made more smoke. And that's when I went back to Winchester 231 and I noticed less smoke. And, you know, it's just a good powder. So that's kind of like my favorite.
It is for my 45, that and Clays. I like Clays pretty good.
I've used Clays. I've used a lot of different powders, and just sometimes I just be in the store and they don't have Winchester 231. I'm like, okay, let's try this, you know. So,
hey, Alaskan, glad to have you in there, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I had to get home from the chiropractor.
No, that's all right. We're just talking a little bit about reloading, which you know a lot about. I guess you do a lot of load testing up there in Alaska.
I used to do a lot of reloading. I hadn't done much. I went through a divorce and moved to Alaska, and my stuff's still in Georgia. That was about 5 years ago. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm starting to slowly get back into reloading. I just did some with Chooks Outdoor Adventures, who I do a lot of work with here in Alaska. So we're probably going to start doing some reloading a little bit here.
Cool. But let's see. Fuzz Fork says Unique is the best, like old Ball said. Yeah, Unique's good powder.
Yeah, good powder.
Our club president, that's all he loads, and 9mm and 45s. That's all he uses is Unique. He buys about 8-pound kegs of it.
Damn, Bald's chiropractor passed away at 56.
Dang it. That's not good.
Dang, got diagnosed with cancer about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He didn't have to suffer long, that's for sure. Fuzz Fork Ball, did he know the Clintons?
Yeah, he might have been on the list.
Yeah, you never know.
I guess there's supposed to be some big news coming out supposedly on the report on Hillary or something pretty soon. I don't know if it's come out yet.
I caught a little whiff of that, but they're so untouchable. It's just hard to imagine anything much happening.
No doubt. Yeah, it would be a big surprise if anything was to come about out of any of that whole mess. All the Comey and Clinton, and if somebody gets, and even Trump, I don't see anything really going to anybody. It's just like all this freaking fluff to talk, get ratings or whatever. It's not.
Yes. I'm kind of, I know none of us are really surprised, but it's just surprising how hard and how insulting and how cruel they are to Trump and his family, and Obama or Hillary or Clinton or whoever. They could literally get away with murder.
Yeah.
And it's like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. or you know, talk about Trump, how he's a misogynist and all this stuff, and then the liberal talking points against Sarah Sanders, they talk about her like she's a freaking animal of some type, you know, but that's okay. It's
or Ivana, or Trump's wife, Melania.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a woman who speaks 5 languages, an immigrant, became a United States citizen, is a great spokesman and all this, and all they want to do is trash her. It's like, really?
Prettiest first lady I ever seen.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, no doubt.
She is a classy looking lady.
They're not women like the other women, the liberal women, I guess.
I tell you, a good one is hitting right now. A little, just as far as news, it kind of does relate to guns and stuff. Have you heard about I forget the exact group. It's a civil rights group of some type. Now they're saying, you know, because for the last few years they've been wanting body cams for police officers.
Yeah.
I mean, just harping on it bad because these police, you know, all the police brutality, blah, 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 blah. Well, now they're saying that the body cameras are violating people's civil rights.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but I was waiting for something like that.
Yeah, because what's happening is it's showing how there's more bad citizens than there is bad cops, and because even in South Carolina, the head of I shouldn't say it because I think it's NAACP, but it could be some other organization. He did a big thing about, I was treated race, you know, it was racist, and I was degraded, and blah 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 blah. Just all it did, just big because he got pulled over. Well, the police chief released a video, and he was the butthole, and the cop went out of his way being kind to him after he's done blasted to the media how he was mistreated and all this. And it turned out it was him. The cop was actually really pretty calm with him. I was like, I believe I'd have done slap cuffs on him, took him to jail if it was me.
Yeah, talking about that, I don't know if you guys watch it, and I know it's what kind of show you call it, realistic type show, but I wish talk to Blue about it, whether a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure it does go on live PD on Friday and Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is a slick show. I watch it every week, both nights. Some of the stuff, and they got, especially Richland County, South Carolina. How far is that from you?
Oh, that's lower part state. That's on the other side of the state.
I mean, they have a lot of crap, and them cops, they just, you know, they're polite. The other night, the guy was on there. I didn't give you permission to put me on camera. Cop says, the camera's here for me, not you.
They was in Greenville County, the county.
Yeah, that was in Greenville too. Yeah, but they
got a guy here just a couple of miles from my house at a racetrack. Something happened. Of course, it's a dirt track. If you go to a dirt track in the South, if a fight didn't break out, something was wrong. Because and they called him at a gas station or something like that. I mean, just right there. Yeah.
You live in Greenville County?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I thought you did.
My county touches North Carolina, like you're going into Hendersonville or going to Asheville or something like that. So I'm in the real upper part of South Carolina.
Some really pretty country.
Yeah, I love it. Right here in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains or Smoky Mountains, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that drive through there when I went down to Pops down there in the last November. That was freaking just a beautiful drive.
It is a beautiful area. I don't deny it. When I'm on my bike, I go north. I mean, I'm in the foothills. I see the mountains on the way home every day. But that's boom, I go to North Carolina. I mean, I live 9 miles from North Carolina. I mean,
right.
Yeah, those opening clips that Alaska Ballistics got on his show, showing scenery there in Alaska. I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
Come on up, man. I'll take you fishing.
There you go.
There you go.
Any of y'all. If you show up at the airport, we're going fishing. Unless it's like February. I'm not going out and ice fishing in -20. That's crazy.
I took my son when he was in Boy Scouts. We won't get into that one. When he was, he was in Cub Scouts. Their outing was ice fishing. I took him out there ice fishing for that, and I tell you, that's the first and last time I ever went ice fishing. It is too blame cold for me.
Well, see, people up here do it right though. They get a snow machine. They pull this shack that's on a sled behind the snow machine, like a cargo sled, and that thing folds out, and then they fold out this big old shack. They drill a hole in the ice. They have their little rods in the hole, and they sit around and drink beer for about 10 hours. And when their buzz finally wears off, they drive the snow machine back, and whoever's sober enough drives home. That's how. It's not for fishing; it's for drinking. And once you understand that, it's the funnest thing in the world.
Now they got a lot of the lakes around here. They use ice shanties here too now. Back then, that was holy crap, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I know people that like set up a 2-room. It's huge, and they bring in like a satellite TV or radio or something, and get some type of entertainment through it, or satellite internet connection, and they'll stay out there on the lake 2 or 3 weeks and just have a grand old time drinking the whole time and doing whatever they do.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Grumpy Old Men movie with
Walter
Matthau and what's his name, Anne Margaret and all them.
Yeah,
out in those ice shanties up in Minnesota.
Those are some really good movies.
Those was too good for the first one was good, and even usually the follow-ups aren't all that great, but the second one was just as good, really.
Yeah, they were good.
And the dad was the funniest, I think.
The old grandpa?
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith?
Yeah,
he was crazy old fart. Yeah. I got those on video around here somewhere. I got to look them up, but I ain't seen them in a long time.
I've never seen them. I got to do it. I got to see them.
Oh,
first one's Grumpy Old Men. The second one's Grumpier Old Men.
Yeah.
They are some good flicks.
That's some good, pretty wholesome entertainment right there.
Yeah, I have to watch them.
There's probably a little cussing in it, but I mean, not vulgar, bad. It's good entertainment.
Oh, family could watch it.
Yeah.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they were both after Anne Margaret, which I can't blame them for that. But, but anyway. All right, guys, it's after 10 o'clock, so we're going to prepare to close this thing down. And I'm going to let you guys do a little outro. And first, let me go out to the external. My screen keeps going. We had Live for a While, Fuzz Fork 8, Bald and Curious, HR Weapons, V Borg 01, 1776er Bus, Captain Shock, Chico Wise, Alaskan Ballistics. Hard to say some of these words with tobacco in your mouth, you know. Southern Style 357, JH 586, SW, Gun Wild 1, Papa's Place, Crazy Scotsman, Papa's Quest. I sent you a link, Papa. You must not, or Pops, you must not have seen it. Stalker Steve, BEM Tactical at MCK. Of course, if you're not subscribed to any of these folks, go over and click on and give them a sub and check their channels out. And with that, I'm going to let our newest member tonight. I'm glad you stopped in, Alaskan, and go ahead and talk a little bit about your channel, what you got coming up and whatnot.
All right. Well, my channel is real simple. I just shoot all sorts of guns through chronograph. Everything people let me beg, borrow, or whatever I can actually afford. Just shoot every round I can. I've got some testing with the Glock Model 40 long slide 10 millimeter coming up, and I know that will help the great crazy Glocksman over there in the side chat. He's going to be happy about that. So, but other than that, I got some 9mm testing. I got some 3-barrel links of 45s coming up, and gonna do some 7 mag on Saturday. I'm gonna do a 10mm versus 44 Magnum against cinder blocks. I've already filmed that one, so got some cool stuff coming up.
Cool. Look forward to it.
Thank
Rich?
you. Thank you for always commenting on my videos. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love good videos. Rich?
Yeah, I'm just I'm gonna be doing a little reloading this weekend, getting some rounds built up for some matches I'm gonna be attending. I'm gonna do like a another pistol match at this indoor range close by me this next Wednesday and Thursday. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be able to film in there and get some footage and whatnot while I'm doing that one. So that'll be fun. And other than that, I'll probably put out a few stupid videos in the next few days. And that's all I got. Thanks for the invite. Always a pleasure, and good chatting with you guys.
TR?
Well, thanks for thanks for having me on as always, Don. I don't have any big plans. I might try to do your new challenge. I like the looks of that. That's a good drill to do, period, anyway. Supposed to go fishing Saturday with the fat man again, but it's supposed to rain all weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to get to do that or not, but we'll see. And I don't know what I'm putting out, if anything, but I'll try to throw together some kind of video. I hadn't done one in a few days.
Cool. Look forward to it. All right, everybody out there in the side chat, thank you for stopping in, and hopefully we'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll do her again. Dan couldn't make it tonight. He texted me this morning, said he didn't think he could. So with that, we're going to say goodnight to you and have a good one.